nation and mining family. Crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? So as you can see, no green screen behind me today, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of a build today. So every once in a while, I always seem to do a what's in the box. Ooh. So got some goodies in the box. So let's go ahead and dive into this one, guys. So we have a little bit of that mail time. So you guys know that I have grabbed a motherboard and some RAM here. I got the Ballistic Sports RAM because it was nice and cheap and it matches all the other RAM that I have. The ROG B450F gaming motherboard. You know that I was earmarking this one for my FPGAs. So the first thing I wanted to test out on realistically was getting it mining on Windows, mining some Monero on the CPU because this is an AMD board. So without any further ado, let's dig in. Get my little bit of my blade out here. Go ahead and cut this bad boy open. Bam, just like that. And check that out. So got some of that airbag stuff. So let's go ahead and check it out. So I've got the AMD Ryzen 2700X. Booyah! So this should be a really good CPU, most certainly. Go ahead and open this bad boy up and check out what's inside. So it gives you some instructions, and it says there that need a discrete GPU, or so you need a GPU with this. I'm gonna try it without first, because the motherboard I have looks like it has onboard graphics, but the CPU doesn't. But I'll go ahead and test it out anyway, just because I've never had a board that had a CPU on there with an HDMI port on the motherboard and didn't have video with it, so it'll be truly a first for me. Let's go ahead and put that cooler over here. I don't need the RAM, I need the motherboard. Let's go ahead and open up this bad boy right here. Some of the stuff that's in there is not necessarily needed. So bam, we have a beautiful motherboard. And first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pop in this chipset in here. So go ahead and take the stand off and bring that all the way up. Now on the Ryzen 7s, just like Intel, the pins are on the CPU. So be very careful when you're messing around with this. Don't drop your CPU at all, guys. This front corner that's closest to the rear I/O is the area where you're going to line up the arrow on here. And very carefully, just slot it in. Should just drop right into right into place, just like that. Bam. And then we can go ahead and lock that bad boy down. Now, not going anywhere. We don't have to worry about the pins at all. Everything should be safe from here. Let's go ahead and open up the cooler, guys. So, bam. And there's an RGB wire down in there that I'm not going to use. And the first thing I always do, guys, is clean off the stock thermal paste on there. I never use the stock thermal paste ever. Bam. Now I got a copper cold plate. And whenever I'm looking at this, it looks like I need to take off the mounts that are here so that I can use this one. Looks like the mount that's on here is made for the one that just clasps on. That is not the one that I have today. So, screwdriver, we're going to go ahead and take this off. There is a back plate on this thing, so it's easier just to kind of leave it on the table while you're doing this so that the plate doesn't just drop out. We can go ahead and get all of this good stuff out of my way. Bam, just like that, guys. Then I'm going to take my Arctic MX4 non-conductive thermal paste. For most purposes, this will be just fine unless you're doing extreme overclocking on that. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put a generous amount onto this. It's a Ryzen, so this thing, you know, is going to get warm. Some people would be like, oh my god, you put too much on there. You can't really hurt anything with this. Just saying. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Screw that in. Get this out of the way. We're going to go ahead and drop this in. So we're going to go ahead and plug the fan. Now, there's two different fan headers right up here. The top one is the primary. The bottom one's the secondary. So if you got like a radiator with a dual fan on there, it'll all be controlled. It can be all controlled in one spot, which is nice. Go ahead and slot you down. I think I like it like this because it kind of organizes the wire really nicely. And let's go ahead and start popping you in. Now I start these one at a time, of course. Make sure the wire's out of the way. Perfect. And go ahead and get you started here. There we go. Alright, tight, but not too tight. Tight, but not too tight.
And a little bit of light down in here, just make sure I got good smooshage and good. As long as I can see it kind of oozing out just a little bit everywhere. Perfect. I know I got good coverage. And now, another thing is, like, unlike my mining motherboard, I've got a power on-off switch built into the board. Being that this is made to go into a regular computer case that would normally have, you know, a power button, a reset button, all that good stuff to plug in, I've actually got to put in my own on-off switch. That goes right down in this bottom panel here. Now, it usually has, it's very tiny and hard to see. Has like a little map out of what's what, and I happen to know this board that this is going to be the power on and off now. Ooh yeah. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to want to do is slot the RAM in here. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Now, typically, if you were only going to be running 2 sticks of RAM, this second one here and the very top one, these two are where you're going to be putting them into. So I will demonstrate that, and then you'll see how we have a few stickers on the back side of this, and then we just have a really nice front. Well, these typically face the cooler, so we'll go ahead and start slotting that in. And I also like to kind of stand it up, get my hands right behind the board, so I'm supporting everything, and I give it a good push till you hear click. I don't know if my microphone picked that up, but we're going to do it again. Get that out of my way, and again, we're following the instructions. We skip ports. And give it a good snap in. Awesome, awesome. Everything is perfectly seated in there. Alright, so typically this is where you can put your video card in, or not put it in. You'd put this into your case or your mining rig, depending on how you're doing everything on here. If you were putting in M.2s, this is where you would put that in at this point. Make things nice and easy to be able to do this. While it's all out, you want to assemble as much of the board as you can outside of your rig frame or outside of your main PC, guys. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and shut down this other PC that I have behind me. So I basically turned my living room table into a big giant test bench. The wife's probably really amused by that, right, babe? It's like, give me back my table. So. All right, and one more. Alright, so this is what I've had on my table here. So this is a H110 BTC Mining Pro. Allows you to hook in 12 GPUs on there for mining. Very good board. Intel CPU. It's got the 3930 on here. Or yeah. And this one is actually getting about 430, 440 hash a second, so not the greatest. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna steal the RAM off of this. Ooh, yo. This one's now gonna get set off to the side because this is mining only. even though it's for mining for GPUs don't have as much headroom as needs as much headroom as the FPGAs. And like I said, I was putting in all the RAM into here because I want to make sure that I am utilizing this thing the right way. There we go. That's clicked in, and one more. Always support from the back. Click them in. Good to go. So, booyah. This is one assembled motherboard right there. So, like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is that this thing has got an HDMI port here, so it's got a video port on there. Now, I know that the CPU says you need a graphics card. Well, I'm going to see if it'll fire up with that one. So, let's dig in. Alright, powering up. Let's see if it posts. Being that this thing is going to be using the CPU on the box says you need a graphics card, which means that the CPU does not have built-in internal graphics, but I'm going to go ahead and check this out anyway. So it looks like it's not very happy. It's looking for the graphics card, it looks like. So there's a couple of LEDs on there. It goes from yellow, white, yellow, and red. And white usually means it's ready to be posting video. I've got a white light on. It's solid. No video. So I'm going to have to go ahead and turn it back off and plug in the graphics card. So give me 1 second here. Alright, now let's see if it posts. Whew. Probably help if I turn the power supply back on. Whenever you're messing with the motherboard, it's always good practice to turn the power supply off. We got a green light. Yo, it posted! Yo! So it's saying no. Oh yeah, that's right. No keyboard detected. I've got the dongle on my other board. Give it back. You can go over here. Bam. Now you got a keyboard. Hey, the mouse works. Yo! Alright, so we got some cool little stuff on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this off and boot into Windows. Yo, let's see here.
White light, green light, go! Oh, it's going in the windows. Yo! Oh, we got video! Alright. So I will do some videos where I'm actually capturing the video on this. This way I can also, you know, have it look a little bit better. So boom, because I am doing this without my green screen and all that good stuff. Like, it really doesn't really matter too much. Let me go ahead, and I'm curious on. I'm sure I'm gonna have to play with some settings on this because I don't have all the administration stuff enabled and all that good stuff. So we know how the GPU, because it's the same 5700 XT that my man Nefarious allowed me to borrow, and I'm gonna have to give that back to him probably sometime this week to this weekend, something like that. Try to get this card back to him. The only thing I got left to do is just fire this thing up onto Linux, just so that I can play with the AMD GPU on Linux, because I've never done that before. I've only played with realistically my NVIDIAs in Linux. A little easier, I think. So let's go ahead and fire this up. For some reason, it's not wanting to fire up Monero. That's odd. Well, I'm going to have to figure out why it's not wanting to do that now. Yes, run. I'm going to have to go in there and figure out why it's not wanting to do what I wanted to do. Even if I've got to sit there and kind of uninstall something and reinstall it. So it looks like it's not very happy with me switching it over. I might have to like turn it off, reboot it back up, maybe all that good stuff. So guys, I'll be doing a follow-up video on this, showing what I did to overcome a little bit of an issue that I guess I'm now having. So if you like this video at all, certainly smash that Lizzie like button. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Certainly share this video with other people. Helps me get my knowledge out to all of you guys out there. Anybody who's having any kind of issues running Monero or any other miners on there, certainly drop some comments in down below, or use the link down below to join the Discord for me and Mikkel. Baller. So hopefully I'll be able to get this resolved. It's probably something really stupid, considering it's just that I'm just firing it up for the first time. So might have to do a configuration. Whatever. I'll figure it out, and then I'll do a follow-up video on that. So with that, guys, I'll definitely see you all on the next one. Peace.